Hey there everyone, welcome to the YouTube video here on the channel. My name is Emily. Today we're on the Southeastern Network by Nicholas, and this is a scenario by me available from the Train Sim Community website. And this is Train 6 Victor 18, the 1117, Allington, Hanson, at aggregate to Waterloo Quarry. As you can see, our maximum train speed today is 55 miles an hour, and we basically run as far south as Swanscombe, so a total distance about 19 miles, correction. So what we'll do is I'm going to put this into past timings because, marker lights on, headlights on. No, oh, and onto middle position. There we go. So that's our headlight setup. Reverser goes forward, brakes are reset, got the road. Give a quick little blast on the horns, notch through the power, and let's move away. As you can see, we are towing a rake of JHA wagons in the Hanson livery. They're all empties, but there is quite a few of them, so it's still quite a weighty train. Class 59 though is incredibly powerful. Although I've just noticed you guys aren't getting desktop audio for some reason. Oh, there you go. Let's leave it about there. So, yeah, we are on a 15 limit, as you can see by that. 15 obviously is the lowest speed limit you generally get in TS. Basically, obviously there's some sections which are like actually 5 miles at 5 mph. You want to kill yourself by the end of it. But the whole sort of concept with TS being a bit fun and and game, the lowest speed limit they'll ever do is 15 miles an hour over an extended period. So that's quite cool. I've never noticed that tool before. You can wonder what that did. Apparently nothing. So let's have a look about the cab. Let's go idle. And what we'll do is just have a train length switch. It does not. That is interesting to note. So we're just going to window hang a little bit. So I'm going to have to use this. Ignore that. And you can see the end of the train's coming off onto the main line, so we'll pretend we know the length very vaguely. So what we'll do is go about notch 5, watch the amps, make sure they don't climb too high, and we're going up to 45. Which is the maximum permitted speed for these wagons. Feels like we've got some brakes to apply, but apparently we do not, so yeah, we'll leave it at that. So the 59 is absolutely great fun as a loco. I love them. They are basically what the Class 66s should have been. Ooh, they are these incredibly powerful, trains which can pull thousands of tons. I think 59 has the record for the heaviest train pull in the UK. I think it's like 5,000 tons, like 6,000 tons. Sorry, which okay, Americans in the audience are going, that's nothing, but actually for our railway, that's really long. Let's check the. Yeah. So, yes, there was a trial held on the 25th and 26th of May 1981 to test the operation of longer freight trains from Merehead. The train consisted of 115 wagons weighing 12,000 tons, with 59005 on the front and 59001 in the middle. It was worked to the junction with the main line at Witham, Friary in 2 parts. 59001 buff-locked with the wagon which derailed. Later in a journey, a coupling broke. The train was halted, but concluded that such a mega train could be operated subject to some modifications. A commemorative plaque was fitted to 59005. Okay, let's put the brake on sharply. Slightly oversped that. That's because I was reading the notes there. You blast on the horns as we pass the crossing. The thought has occurred to me that we've actually covered this as far as Gravesend in the 66 video recently, which I totally forgot about. But actually, I quite like this. Is a fun little run to do regardless. So. Oh, there's a 465 coming the other way. So, like I say, this scenario is sort of based around, it is, so it's based around current timings, but it's sort of 2011, 2012 sort of time frame. It's not a sort of a specific day in history, but it leans into that a day in history a little, if that makes any sense at all. It's here, the 59 working quite hard there actually, and it's not because the train's heavy at all. It's actually working hard. It's fairly low amps. But you can see we're basically just about keeping speed with quite a bit of amps on, comparatively speaking, for an empty train. And we're going downhill because of the friction that the wheels generate coming around this curve. There's a 40. However, that's a danger aspect. We didn't get any cautionary aspects before this, so again, sharpish brake. Oh, just cleared it when I've tabbed there. Let the brake off. So with single amber, red ahead. I always tab when I get a signal sort of thrown up at me because oftentimes it's TS being a bit weird. But we'll just say it cleared naturally to a single amber. You can hear, like, to accelerate, we're going quite slowly. I'm actually using a ton of amps to try and get the train to move. Alpha Foxtrot, I'm not sure what signaling box that is. I would love a 59 enhancement pack. The 59 is a pretty good model to start off with, speaking comparatively. But we've got the loco for it. We've got most of the routes now. We've got the wagons. You know, it would be good to get an EP for this rather than say clouds. I did test the cloud EP. Cloud EP is in this scenario. I mean, yeah, I guess it's pretty, but not. I don't think it's £20 pretty. So go figure. My fan theory is that it's actually Richard Armstrong paying off. He bought a drone for it, and he's like, "Shit, I spent £3,000 on a drone," and that's. Yeah, what else am I going to use it for other than cloud photos? So yeah. To be fair, if he ever does another route, he could use it for surveying the route, but still. I want to wait until we pass this conveyor before I go up to 45. Actually, I can start accelerating now, really. Actually, no, I got the entire train through. I was just dilly-dallying. Full power, so you can see if I full power it, we go into red amps. So, I'm trying not to redline the train, basically, but accelerate reasonably well. So, we end up not really moving much more than notch 5. So in 2000, 59103 is the only 59 to be significantly damaged in an accident. Was working a Whatley to Acton Stone train on 12th September 2000 when the first 10 hopper wagons derailed at 2320 between Great Elm Tunnel and Bedlam Tunnel on the single track into Hanson Quarry at Whatley. The locomotive and the first 2 hoppers rolled over the locomotive coming to rest on the parapet of a small bridge. The locomotive was recovered a week later. 6, notch 6, yeah, there we go. When it's recovered and moved to Whatley, where initial assessment of the damage was made and repairs to make them safe from River Road. The locomotive was then moved to Derby RTC, and then it returned to service in the summer of 2001 after being repaired at Eastleigh Works. I would love a 59, to be fair. Yes, so there's a few kicking about. There's basically the Dash Zeros, which we've got, which these were initially made for Foster Yeoman. I've got 1 and Dash 2, which is one made for National Power. My apologies. But so you had 001 through 005 for Foster Yeoman, 101 through 104 for Arc Southern, now enhanced in livery, and National Power had 201 through 206. Look at that, we are in that notch 6 and we're not accelerating. Just shows, like, even though we've not got any weight on the back, like I say, this is an empty train and is probably not the longest that a 59's ever pulled, let's be honest. It's still pretty pretty up there, so yeah. Use a jabber brake. Overdrove that a bit, didn't I? Just to show you on a map, we started off up here at Allington reception sidings, well, Allington, specifically Allington discharge sidings that we started off on. We're now working our way up the line here. I forget the name of the cement plant here. This is back in use now. And we go via Strood, and then along here. The scenario ends here, because that's where the scenery ends. But in reality, the train will sort of work around here, and then find its way onto the the Great Western over there. And the way it sort of comes down is it comes down around the back and then reverses in. So it comes down sort of through Tunbridge and stuff. May do that for a future scenario, not really sure, but we'll see. Yeah, so like I say, this scenario is sort of based on an era when, or based around the idea, sorry, I should say, of, like I say, it's just after DB Schenker becomes a thing. So a couple of the locos are respread, but everything's still sort of very much EWS. But actually seeing the respread locos a bit like, ooh, that's a bit fancy and new, you know, that kind of dealio. Still feels a bit like that now when I see DB cargo locos, to be honest. Because the majority of the stuff I see kicking around up here is still EWS livery. Like XEWSDB, if at best. That's, yeah, so actually, they tend to, on the way in, it tends to break up, so it sits at Acton for a bit, then forms a new head code from Acton, and works down from there, but yeah. Alright, if we'll go with for now. Absolutely love the locos, like I say, and the wagons. These are fairly old AP products, but actually they still look quite good. Okay, the texturing could be a bit nicer on them. It just looks a bit flat, I guess, but still just really interesting wagons to look at. I like these a lot. I was going to get some, but they were like from Model Railway, but like the ends were like £50 each, and the middle ones like, so it'd be like £200 for that. I was like, no, it's a bit much even for me. You can see the HS1 bridge. On green aspects. I can see the next green as well, so I've definitely sort of accidentally made some separation on the train ahead, because in the last time when I was testing this, this was an amber and I could see a red ahead. So I was reading in like 20 here. So this, when I actually did the motorway valley line myself, my hotel room, I'll point out as we go past, I think I did in the last video as well, but it basically backed onto the line, and I was either going to get off at this and walk down the road. Glad I didn't, to be fair. Because basically, I point at the hotel, it's not that far at all, but so there's obviously a boatyard here, and then a field, and then the sort of entertainment area that my hotel was in, for lack of a better term. I went over to the top of that actually, because that day I went down to Ashford. Didn't think of that actually. Went down to Ashford, then down to Hastings, then back around. So my hotel, like I say, not that far at all to walk really. Is there's a big ugly grey building on the right here. I don't think there might even not be in yet, but like it's in this area. Oh no, there it is. So that would be my hotel there. Doesn't seem that far to walk, but actually it's fucking miles by the time you've walked around, because you can't come in anywhere here. You've got to come in over the road bridge. So I ended up going down to Strood, and I've now sort of covered the entire motorway valley line. I've not been east of Gillingham yet on the railway, but yeah. So we've got a 25 limit coming up, so we'll coast. In fact, I'll just put this level of brake on and just let the train slow off. You can see the speed decays really well. Must have some fresh brakes on all the wagons. Yeah, I slowed off nice and early. I think the low will hate us for that, but I don't care. It shows my cab light was on all the time. I thought it was a bit bright in here. That's me. Apparently I've turned back into a guy. And have a weirdly padded HV vest. There's Rochester Castle. Quite a cool view really when you're doing it this slow. But by verbalising it and sort of pointing at it with my mouse, I've now got that stored in my head as an image. Got a 15. Sharpish brake application. And that's as we cruise around the curve into Strew Tunnel. So yeah, the Cas 59s was, since we're now at a slow pace, the 59-2, which is ones that we're sort of supposed to be looking at. 59-2 for National Power. National Power ordered a single locomotive in 1981 to operate limestone to Drax Power Station in Yorkshire. Yorkshire. It was built by EMD at London, Ontario, and arrived at Hull Docks in the UK on the 17th of February 1994. It was taken to Derby for inspection and entered service on the 14th of March 1994. 5 more locos were ordered in 1994 for coal traffic. These arrived in Hull in 1995 and were based at National Power Depot at Ferrybridge. The 659-2s have the same lighting arrangement as 59-1s and are all equipped with additional yaw dampers that were tested on 104, which allows operations up to 75 mph. Other changes to earlier builds included a carbon dioxide fire control system instead of a halon system, NiCad batteries instead of lead acid, drop head knuckle couplers, and a more advanced slow speed control for MGR ops. The livery was a bright blue body with pale grey bodies under frame and lower body side. Narrow white and red stripes ran along the side between the blue and grey. The fronts had signal yellow below the front windows and with blue above. Now, when National Power ceased operating their own trains in April 1988, the fleet was sold to EWS, who deployed them on stone trains, alongside Mendip Rail's 59-0s and 59-1s. And basically, DB's got rid of all of that, isn't it? Or EWS turned into DB. They've all gone now. Because the EWS, so DB Cargo lost the Mendip contract in 2019, so they put the 59-2s up to sale. And for sale, and Freightliner were like, we'll have them because they now run that contract. Makes sense. To be honest, it's DB. I'm surprised they didn't try and scrap them. They got in a lot of trouble for doing that with 37s and 47s because they're perfectly good trains. They were just scrapping them so other people couldn't have them. It makes sense, but it's really bad business practice. So interesting is that the primogenesis of this whole mess, if you like, of having so 59s and 66s are US built trains, and the 66 effectively came from the 59. Now, there is a reason that Foster Yeoman, who bought the I'm thinking. Foster Yeoman, who bought the 59s, looked to America. Is your butthole prepared? Right. To display capture, zap. This here, oh, hello, is taken at a Foster Yeoman yard. That is a US SW1001 1100 horsepower shunter or switcher. And as you can see, it's at bloody Cranmore Quarry at Toll Works in Somerset. And yeah, they needed a powerful shunter. No one in the UK was building them, so they went to the Americans. Oh, these Americans build decent trains. There you go. So that is how we ended up. To be fair, if that loco was available, I would get that as a model, because I think that's quite a nice little thing that no one really knows about when it comes to the UK Railway. Is I only found out about this a few months ago, and I was like, whoa, that's cool. I could probably actually do that as a fairly easy conversion, right? Like, yeah. I may pay someone to try and do that for me. So that would be fun to have. It's still, a lot of sort of rail fans and stuff alike, let's just say they don't enjoy 66s. But the whole primogenesis is really interesting of where this all sort of came from, really. Yeah. Oh, got a bit quick there. Bit of brake on. Correct that error. Do a flyby. Oh, really? That high. There we go. That was nice, eh? Let's just put sort of notch 2-3 on, just to hold us at 45, or help us creep back up to 45. You can see I sort of really went for the EWS is prevalent here vibe, but also a bit of DB starting to creep in, you know? And even a bit of Metronet. I'm very sure that contract was over at this point, but may try and do something for that, to be fair. So look at the sea of EWS liveries, and then a 1 DBS, Derek Holmes, railway operator. And then of course the EWS construction HOAs. They always seem to be parked up there when I've come past. That's why I've always sort of modelled them in that area. So I always sort of, you know, peek into 2 Junction to see as much as I can. Yeah, I always sort of see those. Never see anything else. I always see those. That is a crazy image. That so the 59s. This is obviously WR Juketug on Twitter. Look at that! Like this is the era we're talking about. That's Thingy Depot, Old Oak Common. So this is Willesden Junction up here. This is the basically the cruise down from Willesden. So you've got a 121 bubble car and a stopper, and a 59 coming down the embankment. It's just that would be a crazy time to be on the railway. I'd love an enhancement pack for this. Yeah, I love that reply there. This looks like the learning of an episode, and they've been firm friends ever since. I like that. Also shows as well, actually, how much more vegetation management was done back in the day. I'm fairly sure this isn't a view you could have anymore. I mean, okay, Old Common's been demolished and all that kind of crap, but all these trees have been left to grow massively, and there'll be trees and bushes here. This wouldn't be such a clean view now. I think that's always sort of been something in my head when I look at model railways, is the older layouts seem too clean. Like, you know what I mean? They all seem like the vegetation's like this would be all been trimmed back, but actually it was. It was, when we went on massive cost saving sprees, we started, we dropped vegetation management down, and now we end up with massive issues with wheel slip. Slip and slide. When you really gotta slip and slide. So I just put a jabber brake on. Start bringing our speed back down. Actually, no, we've got ages until it'll be 20. So I'm going to coast it. But, yeah. We're actually at 30, so let's just stay here for now. I'll be honest, I've forgotten the exact sequencing of speed. That was obviously a 395 coming the other way. That is when they first entered service, you know, that is how... Yeah, so actually we're in a 40 limit, we're at 30, absolutely golden. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 30 warning, that's fine. And there's our 30 there. Going through the arches on the approach to Gravesend. The FX sounds like it's unticked itself because you can't hear the whooshes going to these. Oh no, you do. Get the reverb. So, Gravesend, I don't know what you're trying to call Gillingham. Gravesend is slightly incorrect. Obviously, for the era, you would have the old platform layout. So this wouldn't be a bay platform. It would be a 3 platform. You'd have 2 through main lines. So we'd be going down that at the moment, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference today. See, there's another 465 in there, awaiting his return working to Cannon Street. Well, I think it's Charing Cross actually used to go to, or they go to even, so they still do that working, I think. 30. That's pretty cool, right? So this is, again, back in today. Mark 2s, nice long raking Mark 2s, and then a DBSO on the back. That DBSO needs colour matching now. Oh, that's a shame. Have that as a screenshot. I think that's the one I've actually got as a model. Okay, so yeah, I missed the 45 there because I was busy admiring the 37. Okay, go full power. Just give it the beans. V1. Rotate. V2. Just shows how heavy empty coach wagons are, though. We're pulling up a slight hill here, in full power, in the most powerful loco in the country, and it's not really accelerating much. I just realised, there you go, DSD's on now. You're probably not hear it. So the scenario is going to end as we go over, as we pass sort of over the HS1 line. So you probably not see the DSD, hear the DSD now, but this is the run. So yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed this. Thank you guys for coming by and doing this video with me today. That's Ebbs Fleet Station down there. Ebbs High Speed Station. Whoa, this feels fast. It's 45 though. Notch 3 just to keep us going. Flying along now, eh? Bloody flying. This is North Fleet Station. Like I say, with the scenario, if you download it yourself, ends at Swanscombe. That's literally as the scenery ends as you go out the other end of Swanscombe Station. So just to get a bit of cinematic effect, I'm going to end this scenario a bit sooner. Or the video a bit sooner, sorry. So I'd like to take the chance to thank you guys for watching today's YouTube video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button. Subscribe to see more from me on a regular basis. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, it's bye for now.